Hello, Squid and Octo Kids! Welcome to It's a Splat Theory. I'm your host, Kat, and today I'm answering your questions. Yes, it's the 200 subs Q&A. But first, before I answer anyone's questions, I just want to say thank you to all of you. I couldn't have done it or even made it this close without you Squid or Octo Kid. Now, time for the questions. Do I work on my videos on a schedule, or do I do it in my spare time? Well, I would have to say in my spare time, since I don't really have a schedule, but really, I'm working on something YouTube related almost constantly, even if it just means coming up with video ideas in my head, writing down any theories ideas that pop into my head, picking the best YouTube thumbnail, or just doing research of anything Splatoon related. I'm always trying to do something. Inkling or Octoling? Well, that's a tough one, since as you know, my little character here that represents me is an Inkling. And in Splatoon 2, I played an Inkling, in no small part because I didn't have the Octo expansion. But in Splatoon 3, I play an Octoling, and I prefer octopi more than squids in the real world. But I like drawing Inklings more, and I draw them more than Octolings. But I think I'd have to go Octoling on this one. What was my favorite theory to make? Well, there are a few. Making can Inklings have beards cracked me up so much. I was really passionate about no one's evil in Splatoon. The specials limit was a fun one, since I didn't think anyone really talked about it that much. I think is the Inkling language really the last human language might have been one of my best, especially since it really seems to be correct now. But I have to say my favorite one to make had to have been my prediction of Splatoon 3's DLC. It's been one of the only times that I've really been able to use my story writing skills, and I was able to show off my creative abilities. And it's not something I've really been able to do since. But just know, I love making all my theories. It's just a passion of mine, and I enjoy it. Who is my favorite Splatoon character? And who is my favorite Splatoon idol? Well, I'd have to say that my favorite Splatoon character of all Splatoon characters has to be Agent 4. She was the first agent I got to play as. But a close second, and the answer to the second question, is Marie. I love her sarcasm and her sense of humor, and how much she cares for her cousin. She has edges, but she's still soft. A really good three-dimensional characters, which we don't really get a lot of those in Splatoon. Do I have any table turf strategies? Well, what I always do is I try to block off my side as far ahead as possible, and then start filling in behind it. Which, funnily enough, is the exact opposite of how I play Turf War. What is my opinion on splat bands? Well, since I really like most of the music in Splatoon, I'd have to say I like them. If I had to choose a favorite, I'd probably say Seaside, since they have one of my favorite non-main band songs. But most of the bands are really good, and there's a lot of love that's put into the music of Splatoon. If I could add one thing to Splatsville, what would it be? Ooh, that is a really hard one. There are a few things I would like to see, like there was some talk of apartments or an even bigger hub area, but there's one thing that I really want there to be. A minigame arcade. Because I really missed the rhythm minigame, and I think it'd be fun to see some of the games Inklings and Octolings play, and it would just be a neat experience to be able to go into this other building like one of the shops, but I would love to see you to be able to actually move around it and to go to these each individual arcade kits and play a mini game like the Squid Beats or something else, maybe like asteroids or something, but squid themed. Once again, thank you to everyone who has subscribed, and it means so much that you like the videos and theories I create. I couldn't have made it this far without you, and even if I could, I wouldn't have wanted to. If you enjoyed the video, super jump over to that like button, splat the subscribe, and ring the notification bell. If you have any more questions, go ahead and comment them below. I always love to see and read and answer them. And as always, stay fresh, stay off the hook, stay cool, and catch ya later, Squid and Octo kids!